says, ثُمَّ كَانَ عَاقِبَةَ الَّذِينَ أَسَاءُوا السُّوءَ, those people who kept committing sins and كَذَّبُوا بِآيَاتِ اللَّهِ. They rejected the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why? Due to their own sins in the previous time. Previously, they kept making so many sins until it became a habit. That habit made them addicted to sins, and therefore it became a propensity. So no matter you kill the kafir here in this life, if he lives 1,000 years, he will stay as a kafir. The mu'min is the same. His reward, his good deeds also become a habit. If you do 30 times or 30 nights, keep with the Salatul Layl, then after 30 days, after 1 month, you get up by yourself. You don't need to put a clock for yourself. You don't need to put an alarm. It becomes a habit for yourself. The same thing with the sins. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala punish people, not for the sake of revenge, rather because the kafir becomes, his kufr becomes his own habit all the time. If he stays in this life 1,000 years, he will stay as a kafir. If the mu'min also stay in this life 1,000 years, also will be a mu'min. So it is not only the action itself, rather the desire, the intention that what you want to do later on. Here Imam al-Baqir alayhi salam has very beautiful word. He says that مَا مِنْ عَبْدٍ, there is no person, إِلَّا وَفِي قَلْبِهِ نُكْتَةٌ بَيْضَاء, that inside his heart there is a clear, white, immaculate point in his heart. فَإِذَا أَذْنَبْ, so if he commits a sin, خَرَجَ مِنَ النُّكْتَةِ نُكْتَةٌ سَوْدَاء. So out of this white spot, if he commits a sin, a dark spot will emerge from this white spot. فَإِن تَابَ, if he asks forgiveness and he repents, ذَهَبَ ذَلِكَ السَّوَادُ, that darkness will be gone. But if he insists, وَإِن تَمَادَى بِالذُّنُوبِ زَادَ ذَلِكَ السَّوَادُ, so that darkness start to be increasing, widening, حَتَّى يُغَطِّ الْبَيَاضِ, the entire big white spot will be completely gone. And instead, the dark spot will take over that one, the clear spot. فَإِذَا غَطَّ الْبَيَاضِ لَمْ يَرْجَعْ صَاحِبَهُ إِلَى خَيْرٍ أَبَدًا. So once the heart becomes completely darkened, then that person, the owner of this heart, will never come back to the truth. Always will continue. Why? Because the mistake pulls other mistakes. When we get infected with viruses or with bacteria, a single virus does not kill. A single bacteria does not cause disease. But what happens? Once the bacteria inside start to grow and get divided, and then you will see a host, a colony of bacteria have been grown inside our body. At that time we get sickened. But a single virus or a single bacteria does not cause a trouble. So a single mistake, the same way. A single mistake does not cause a trouble, but what causes a trouble is that we continue with that. The more we continue, the more our heart becomes darkened, and then we become accustomed to sin. At that time, we start to have a habit. If we don't commit that sin, we start to become nervous. Why? Because we become addicted to that sin. Here, Al-Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam has another hadith. It says, إِنَّ الْقَلْبِ لَيُوَاقِعُ الْخَطِيئَةِ. So the heart again gets introduced to the mistake and will enjoy the mistake. فَلَا تَزَالُ بِهِ حَتَّى تَغْلِبَ عَلَيْهِ. The khati'ah will continue with it because he will do more. فَيَصِيرُ أَعْلَاهُ أَسْفَلَ. The heart will be inverted. The upside becomes down and the downside become upside. Here the Quran says, كَلَّا بَلْ رَانَ عَلَىٰ قُلُوبِهِمْ مَا كَانُوا يَكْسِبُونَ. That the heart by nature is good. You feel bad when you commit sin, but the more sins you do, those sins will sit and make a thick layer on our hearts. At that time, we become desensitized. We start not to think about them. We start not to see what is going on. We don't see the future. Why? Because there is a thick layer sitting on our hearts. And this thick layer is made from sin. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, due to our mistakes and due to His mercy, He does not punish us right at once. Rather, He does the installments. You know the installments? When you pay your mortgages at home, they don't ask for the entire amount right away, right? They give you in a monthly fashion. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, instead of punishing us right at once, He also gives us in installments. If He wants to punish us right away, then no one would be alive in this earth. He Himself, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَوْ يُؤَاخِذُ النَّاسِ بِمَا كَسَبُوا مَا تَرَكَ عَلَى ظَهْرِهَا مِنْ دَابَّةٍ. If I make a mistake and you make a mistake, and right away Allah would send His wrath and His punishment on us, then you don't see any walking, any living thing on the face of this planet. وَلَكِنْ يُؤَجِّلُهُمْ إِلَىٰ أَجَلٍ مُسَمَّى. It gives them time, let you take your time, enjoy your life, and do whatever you do. At the end, He will catch you. So number one, He does not punish us right away. Why? Due to His mercy. He has created us on this life. He's a Rahman wa Rahim. Due to His merciful nature, He let us do what we want. Give Him chance. Maybe He will come back again. Maybe He will revert. Maybe He will repent and comes back. So He does not come and right away punish us. At the same time, He doesn't leave everything for the hereafter. Why? Do you know the difference between the punishment in this world and the punishment in the hereafter? Which one is more severe? The punishment here, we have a storm here, or we have a hellfire in the hereafter? Obviously, that one is much more severe. There is no comparison between the two. We recite Ali ibn Abi Talib's dua in every Thursday night. What does he say? He says, وَأَنْتَ تَعْلَمُ ضَعْفِي عَنْ قَلِيلٍ مِّن بَلَاءِ الدُّنْيَا وَمَا يَجْرِي فِيهَا مِنَ الْمَكَارِهِ عَلَى أَهْلِهَا عَلَى أَنَّ ذَلِكَ بَلَاءٌ وَمَكْرُوهٌ قَلِيلٌ مَكْثُهُ يَسِيرٌ بَقَاؤُهُ قَصِيرٌ مُدَّتُهُ. You know that I am so weak. You know my impairment toward the disasters in this life. Despite the fact it is only a few hours. How long did the storm take? For how many hours? Only 3-4 hours. But imagine if this storm would stay for billions of years. Then what will happen to us? فكيف احتمالي لبلاء الآخرة ووقوع المكاره فيها وهو بلاء تطول مدته. It's a lengthy, it's as old as you can imagine. It's never going to be removed. بلاء تطول مدته ويدوم مقامه ولا يخفف عن أهله. It's consistent. Imagine you have a toothache for 70 years. Can you stand that? Any little pain, if it exceeds its usual time, can we resist it? Can we tolerate that? Why? Because our body is not built for that. Our body is only for tiny little pain. And then, haven't you heard so many people? There are many people who are inflicted with chronic diseases. They cannot stand it. Eventually they commit suicide. For a tiny little disease, a pain that they are suffering with for so many years, let's say 10 years, 20 years, they cannot handle it. Therefore they commit suicide. How can we say about the punishment in the hereafter? So obviously, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us punishment here in this world much better than waiting for the punishment in the hereafter. Even the Jahannam, brothers and sisters, even the Jahannam, the hellfire is also merciful. It's mercy, it has mercy. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Al-Rahman says that the hellfire, I have created hellfire for your own benefit. Here it is. It says, يُرْسَلُ عَلَيْكُمْ شُوَاظٌ مِّن نَارٍ وَنُحَاسٍ فَلَا تَنْتَصِرَانِ. In the hereafter, you will see smokes of fire, those people who are in the hellfire, engulfing them from everywhere. Then what does it say? فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ. Those are bounties, blessings to you, to human. How is it possible? that hellfire is a blessing for me. If it were not hellfire, who would get up in the morning and does Salat al-Subh, Salat al-Fajr? We get up for the morning, we leave our sleeping, and we wake up. صلوا على محمد وآله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. We do the prayers, those 2 rak'ah that we do. Is it for the reward that we do them, or there is a punishment behind us? Here you can compare. Do you know how much reward Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put for Salatul Layl? For the prayers that you do in the middle of night, how long does it take? 20 minutes maximum. Let's say 30 minutes. 11 rak'ah. How many of us do this one? While Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Holy Quran says, وَالْبَاقِيَاتُ الصَّالِحَاتِ خَيْرٌ عِنْدَ رَبِّكَ ثَوَابًا وَخَيْرٌ أَمَلًا. It's much better than anything. Keep the dunya, the entire world, the entire universe on one side, and keep the reward of the Salatul Layl on one side. You will see the reward of the Salatul Layl is much more than the entire universe. But how many of us do it? So we're not for the reward. In another ayah, again Allah talks about those people who get up in the middle of night and do their prayers. Well, they are so tired, dead tired, and sleepy. تتجافى جنوبهم عن المضاجع يدعون ربهم خوفا وطمعا. Then eventually what does it say? You say if you do Salatul Layl, the prayers, فلا تعلم نفس ما أخفي لهم من قرة أعين. No one can even count the rewards for Salatul Layl. But how many of us do Salatul Layl? And how many times we do Salatul Layl? Why? We are not for the reward, but we care for the punishment. Human being by nature always is afraid from punishment. Therefore, we get up for Salatul Layl. One of my relatives, he had an interesting story. He said when he was young, 10 years old, 11 years old, his father would wake him every day for Salatul Fajr. And sometimes he's tired, he doesn't want to get up. He would force him, so he would wake him up, and then he goes to his room while this young boy had to do the prayers. Until this young boy learned a trick. He said, I would wait, my father will come and wake me up. I get up in the front of him. Once he leaves, I go back to the bed. But meanwhile, I say, Allahu Akbar. Then after a while, I said, غَيْرِ الْمَغْضُوبِ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا الضَّالِّينَ. Then after a while, I say, سَمِعَ اللَّهُ لِمَنْ حَمِدًا. Then سُبْحَانَ رَبِّيَ الْأَعْلَى وَبِحَمْدًا. While I'm inside the bed, my poor father is sitting there, he doesn't know what's happening. This continued for a while until the father paid attention. He said that this guy is tricking him, got suspicious. So he said that one day, as usual, I'm inside my bed and reciting those beautiful verses. All of a sudden, I see my father with a big belt on his hand and hitting me and says, Assalamu alayka ayyuhan nabi wa rahmatullah. Hitting him so he used to do all of this because of the punishment. If it were not punishment, he wouldn't even wake up for the prayers. So Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam tells his companions, telling them, tell our Shia, tell our followers, do not commit sins. Why? Because when you commit a sin, you will see it in this. This is your actions, and you will see it in this life before you get to the other life. Why? Because there you have to be going clean. At that time, you are cleansed, you go to the heaven, inshallah. But whatever you do, you will receive it in this world. So whatever mistake I make, I have to expect the punishment in this world before that one. Therefore, the natural disasters that we see, brothers and sisters, sometimes due to our weak,